I say you send it through here, and if we get stuck, we get stuck.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Ah,
there you go. Little vehicle speed.
Yeah. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the base model 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. Land Cruiser's back, baby. And yes, I know this is a Prado in the rest of the world. And yes, I know this is the base model, so you don't get all the off-road goodies of the Land Cruiser Squared, the other trim that you can get for 2025. How good is this base model out here at Barnwell Mountain? And what is the real shortcoming of this entire platform? We're out here to find out. Stay tuned. All right, gearheads, before we get too far into this one, I do have a few thank yous to get out of the way. First of all, thank you to Toyota for bringing me this Land Cruiser for 2 weeks worth of testing. We've got this video and an upcoming family review video, so you can see exactly what this is like from Holly's perspective, what it's like to live with daily in a vehicle that can come out here to Barnwell Mountain, which is my second thank you. Huge thanks to Barnwell Mountain for allowing us to come out here and test vehicles one right after another so that we can see what the latest and greatest off-road vehicles are capable of in real-world scenarios. If you want to know more about Toyota or Barnwell, I've got tons of details down in the video description. Go check that out. I've got a lot of details on this Land Cruiser that I will not be able to get in the video today, but I do want to talk about the powertrain of this because it has been one of the controversial talking points since bringing the Land Cruiser name back. No more V6, no more V8. This is strictly a 4-cylinder. It is the iForce Max, making over 300 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque. This thing has got the numbers on paper and has been giving us fairly decent fuel economy returns as well. We saw over 22 mpg on our hour drive out here, and we are seeing about 19 in the city. So I am very pleased with it thus far. We have done some exploratory work out here, if you can't tell by what the Land Cruiser looks like currently. And so far, the engine is not the weak point of this vehicle, this platform. We'll get into that when we get behind the wheel. Other powertrain notes on this one, as I lower the prop rod supported hood. Yes, 4-cylinder hybrid power, 8-speed automatic transmission, full-time 4-wheel drive with 4-low, locking center and rear differentials. All of that is done electronically. It's not my favorite. The last vehicle I brought out here was a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. You had to manhandle it to put it into 4-low. This, you're pushing buttons and it's beeping. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But the big news on this are the off-road dimensions and angles on this. We have a 30-degree approach angle. We have a 22-degree departure angle. But interestingly enough, Toyota brags on the wheelbase being the perfect off-road wheelbase on this Land Cruiser, but nowhere do they publish the official breakover. We do have 7.9 inches of ground clearance. We'll show you all that as we move around it. But this particular one, even though it is the base model, does have a few options on it. And this one is probably how I would spec it if I were to purchase one for myself. It is the base model. You're not paying for a bunch of frills. It's actually pretty nice inside. We'll check that out in a bit. But we have the $440 skid plate underneath the front of this. They've also included a couple different recovery points. We've got 2 standard recovery hooks and some lower recovery points underneath it if you need to rescue yourself or any other friends that might be less fortunate than you on the trail. But yes, the skid plate goes very far back, and for only $440, I'd say it's a good spend. There is one other option on this one as we pull around to the side here that I would absolutely option out, and that is the $990 rock sliders on this. So again, no breakover angles are published on the Land Cruiser anywhere from Toyota. And yes, we only have 7.9 inches of ground clearance, but those $990 rock sliders are the lowest point here on the side and will protect your body side from unintended damage. As we come up close, I will go ahead and say, from our exploratory running of this, yes, these Yokohama Geolandar tires, they're glorified on-road tires. They say they're all-terrains. They are not. They are decent on the road, and Holly will talk more about her time living with this as a daily driver when we do our family review. But suffice it to say, we'll get into a little bit more detail on these tires as we move along. When it comes to the style, I actually really like the 1958 version. We had those round halo running lights up front, all LED lights up front, and then we get this boxy shape that just works so well. This is a shared platform with the Lexus GX that we've had a couple times that we've really liked, though this only gets 4-cylinder power where the GX gets twin-turbo V6 power. So there are some differences there. You can see we've got a little bit of articulation going here, but I did want to go ahead and show you these rock sliders and just what they look like, how they attach, where they attach, and what it looks like. It is a very clean installation on there. I know on some General Motors products, you get all the bolt housings and bolt surrounds actually being the lowest point on some of their rock sliders. And then you're just dragging the connection points of what is supposed to be your underbody and side protection. I don't know, this is a good design. It absolutely works for me. As we come around to the back, again, big, square, boxy, we get that iForce Max badge on the back. We get Land Cruiser. Here on the black part, we've got a very convenient rear opening glass that makes it very easy to get in and out, load your gear in the back, whatever that may be. You notice this is far better filming equipment than what we film with here on this channel, but you're gonna wanna go check out our second channel, One Off Garage, where Eric and I have a little more fun in this particular one out here today at Barnwell. But yes, very easy to get in the rear glass that way. And then we have a manually opening, not power opening, rear hatch that does fall a little short when it comes to overall opening height. At 5'10" myself, I'm always a little bit worried I'm gonna hit my head on this. It doesn't open any wider than that, but now you can see just how much room we have back here. There is more space back here, and I think that is due to the fact that we don't have a roll cage than, again, that Jeep Wrangler Rubicon I brought out here last. Even with this giant raised platform, you may be wondering, what on earth did Toyota do this for? This is where the hybrid battery resides. It has to go somewhere, and they stuck it here under the rear cargo area. It's nice, it's not too obtrusive, but yes, you do have your cargo up on a raised platform, showing off that this is a platform that does offer 3 rows of seats. You can see we've got cup holders back here, we've got power ports back here, but no actual 3rd row of seats here in this Land Cruiser. So just something to note there. Again, manually closing hatch, very easy to open and close one-handed. Proximity key, very nice, that is standard across the board. And then my favorite interior, I like this better than the Land Cruiser Squared or Land Cruiser model, which gets their Softex synthetic leather. This gets some really premium cloth seats. I really do like these seats a lot. They feel very nice, very upscale. I actually prefer these over the Softex. They are very nice. You can see the overall general design in here is very nice. We've got storage in a couple of places, but fully manual seat here. Manual height adjustment, manual slide, manual recline, manual, 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 all the way around. Coming to some of the controls, we know Toyota likes to do button overload up here. I don't know why they ladder step these, because in certain lighting conditions, these are completely hidden from overhead lights. They don't light them up. That's for the power back there in the back. That's to open the fuel door. But yes, all this kind of gets hidden when these aren't ambient backlit. So if you turn off the vehicle at night. it's gone. Trailer brake control right there, your hood release right there. We do get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, which I really like. And the overall design in here works very nicely. And these are gonna come in handy today with all this red mud that we've already got on the vehicle that we'll be trekking around today. All-weather floor mats. I really like, as I climb in and hit my head, we get A-pillar mounted handles to help climb in. I do already have my seat in the off-road driving position, so it's a little closer than I normally drive, but you want to be able to see your corners. You can see we get a digital gauge cluster right here. The higher trims get a larger digital gauge cluster without all this kind of hokey side section here. And then we get a smallish, though it does the job quite well, 8-inch Toyota infotainment screen. Does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but I'm currently using my phone right now, so we don't have that on. But yes, it works very nicely. You can also plug in to all the USB-C ports. Down here, you can see this one is for interface. The other two are for charging, but I like that we get USB across the board. Dual zone climate controls up here, heated front seats, which are like a nice warm hug because they are cloth seats. I like that. Heated steering wheel button that is kind of far away from the steering wheel, which is interesting. Your power, engine vehicle power button is right here behind the steering wheel, kind of hidden, as is our tow haul button. You can tow with this. You saw that trailer brake earlier. Down here we get our drive mode select. On this base model, 1958 model, you only get sport, normal, and eco in your drive modes. You also get your crawl control, which will come in handy as we're descending some obstacles out here. Physical controller for your 8-speed automatic. I really like that. And then an incredibly, I'm going to go ahead and show you here, low resolution backup camera here. No 360 cameras on this model. That may be something you want to get the top trim for, that Land Cruiser Squared, for the better cameras. And a few off-road goodies. You get a disconnectable sway bar. You get all your multi-terrain select on the Land Cruiser Squared. This one's a little more back to the basics, if you will. No Qi wireless charger in our model either. You have to step up to the top one. But we do have our electronic transfer case here. You can see 4 high, 4 low, locking center and locking rear diffs. Property blank here, traction control button there, auto hold in traffic, electronic parking brake. All the usual suspects. Decent size center console. You can see my lunches in there. Yes, beef jerky. Sorry, it is what it is. We get a nice design up here, but decent storage in our glove box here. It's kind of a tray design. This really is just a door. And then again, I told you, really comfortable seats. Coming to me, no sunroof, plenty of headroom, big boxy shape. That's why you buy this. It looks cool. It gives you plenty of room inside. But let's check out that back seat and what it's like sitting behind myself at 5'10". Although keep in mind, yes, I'm a little higher and a little further forward than I normally drive on road. As we come up to the back doors, the proximity sensors are not on the back doors. So if you want to get in the back, well, you're going to have to unlock the front first, but decent size opening here. Still get some storage here, a little bit of storage down here, but just hard plastics everywhere. No padding, no nothing. It's fairly basic back here, but we still get our all-weather floor mats. We still get our nice premium cloth. You can see we have places to install a child seat, which Tucker's is already in here. We have a 60-40, so 60-40 split folding second row, so you can actually fold the seat down if your backpack is not in the way. And the whole seat folds forward to allow you to get into the fictional third row. And again, we see that the platform for the batteries kind of rears its ugly head here. It does not give you a nice smooth transition, seat up or down. You still have kind of that differing levels of storage areas there, but plenty of room behind myself. I do have a B-pillar mounted handle here. I've got a little bit of a jump because of how we have the vehicle stage. You can see we actually have tri-zone climate in this, which is very nice. So up front, I said dual zone. We actually have controls here for the rear. which is really nice. We've got 2 USB-C power ports down here. We've got an additional cigarette lighter style power back here. We've got some map pockets in the backs of both front seats. We have ceiling mounted air vents, which you know we really love here on the channel. And sitting behind myself, I've got decent amounts of room. I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. Again, normally I'm probably back here with the seat, so still plenty of space back here, plenty comfortable. Coming to me, you may notice, yeah, I'm sitting a little upright, but even in the seat's most upright position, I've got plenty of headroom. But let's go ahead and recline this to where I normally ride. And yes, this is a very comfortable seat. I can ride anywhere for however long back here. I am very comfortable. And then again, I really do like these ceiling mounted air vents. I get nice airflow right in my face, which I really like. However, there are some shortcomings back here. You can see we get a large center tunnel here, lots of plastic on the back of the center console. So I don't know that you're gonna wanna ride 3 across, though you do have seat belts for 3 across back here. That's enough of a tour of it. Let's hop back behind the wheel and see how this thing handles off-road and talk about what its shortcomings and what its strengths are here at Barnwell. So let's see what this thing can do 0 to 60 on actual pavement, not in the dirt. Right now I'm in normal mode, empty parking lot ahead of me, full on the brake, full on the accelerator, drop the brake, and we are off. Okay, respectable. Ah! Got a little scared because, whoo, I ran out of pavement, really good pavement. We'll try it again because that 815, 813, I don't think is really what this thing is capable of. Again, this isn't the best situation out here. No, I'm not in my normal testing spot. All right, full on the brake, full on the accelerator. Let's go. All right, yeah, off-road because we're in a Land Cruiser, so why not? Getting a little bouncy, Woo! 8.04. Woo! That was a little fun, little exhilarating. All right, so we're gonna cheat a little bit, make it a little worse off on it itself. We're gonna go uphill a little at the get-go, but I did just test the GMC Sierra 2500 Denali with the Duramax diesel right here, and I was impressed with its numbers, so we'll try again. And we're off. Keep in mind, all of these are in normal mode, so I'm guessing sport mode would be a whole lot quicker. All right, 841. Yep. That hill definitely hampered this hybrid 4-cylinder. So there we go. Low 8 seconds for acceleration here in the Land Cruiser in normal mode. Now we're going to spin around, do it a couple different directions here, and we'll put it in sport mode and see what that is capable of. All right, full on the brake, full on the accelerator, and we're off. Definitely quicker off the line acceleration from the feel of it. And yep, it feels a whole lot faster. 774. Definitely shaves some time off putting it in sport mode. Very impressed. We'll do it one time going up this hill just a little bit, because it gives me the most runway before the road surface deteriorates. Here we go. Full on the brake, full on the accelerator, and off we go. Yeah, this one's a little slower. Climbing that hill. It can only do so much with that hill. 854. It really is. It is that hill that is keeping this thing from getting a true good launch. And unfortunately, I just don't have enough runway before it comes to this broken pavement. So I think we're going to get our best runs on this broken pavement to start, and then going on to the better pavement there at the end. One last run. Let's see what she's capable of, and we're off. It definitely feels a whole lot quicker in sport mode, and showing to be a whole lot quicker in sport mode. Yeah, 786 that time. So fairly quick, 0 to 60 all the way around for something that is a big brick. but is also very capable off-road. I'm impressed with these numbers. I mean, they're not earth-shattering. It does get a little floaty at high speeds, but pretty impressed with a Turbo 4. Again, over 400 pound-feet of torque. You'd expect somewhat quick numbers, right? All right, gearheads, setting off. I've got Eric with me. If you haven't seen any of his stuff, he's done some reviews here on the main channel, but we've got a second channel together, One Off Garage, One Off, the #1 OFF, squish it all together, find it, I'll link it down below. But we're gonna be filming that one later today in this.
We only do the fun stuff over there. We leave the minivans, unless the Dodge releases that Hellcat minivan, then we'll take a look. But that's the fun channel. This is the everything channel. And when we have crossover, we do them both.
Yes. So, Land Cruiser 1958, not the squared.
Yeah.
Not the Land Cruiser.
Yeah, and base model sounds too base, so they got to do something.
And it's not the first edition. That was only available in the model year of this one.
And that costs way more.
Yeah, this is a 2024 for 25. There's this trim and the Land Cruiser. In this one.
We're jumping straight into it here, Corey. We're already rolling over a rock before you're done with your intro here.
So, I want to preface what we're doing today. You may notice I am not taking my usual line dipping into Twister as I normally do to off-road test vehicles. The last Toyota I brought out here was the Sequoia TRD Pro. Could not drop into the entrance to Twister. The breakover angle wasn't there. It was not there. It was dragging the sidestep.
And every time we're out here, we think the trail can't get worse, and then yet it does. This time we're like, are we gonna? No. Yeah. We didn't even get to the entrance of the trail.
The beauty of off-road testing here at Barnwell. This is a real active trail. People come out here, have fun.
There's a Jeep group out here right now, probably rutting something up that we'll never be able to drive.
It rained biblically yesterday. So there's tons of mud out here. There's washouts.
Red clay mud, which is like Play-Doh that your toddler just spit out.
And we're going to get into that and how it affects this vehicle here in a moment. All that to say, the drop into Twister is now exclusively for vehicles like the last one I brought out here in that 392. This being the base model, not happening.
There's not even Subaru trails out here anymore.
No, that crossover trail that we normally take, that again I took in that Jeep Wrangler, cannot take it.
It now has a 1 foot rock face.
Yes, cannot be done. So, level setting where we are right now, I am in 4 high, center diff locked, nothing else.
Why is the rear diff not locked?
I cannot figure out, for the life of me,
need to be in park?
How on earth you get that center lock.
Does it need to be in neutral, rolling backwards?
My least favorite thing about the electronic everything
in many manufacturers,
especially here in Toyota, is I get no prompts. I get nothing telling me why it's working, why it isn't working. I just have a flashing red light, but not telling me if it's actually going to lock up. Oh, we're locked.
Wow.
So neutral, 4 low. There you go. It locks out.
Everything else is a mystery. Figure the rest out for yourself, because it told us nothing. And
that's another thing I liked about that Jeep. I know I'm going to keep talking about that Jeep a lot, but physical lever to put it in 4 low. You knew it was in 4 low.
Men's transfer case.
You put it in 4 low. Like you muscled it into 4 low. And then...
Oh yeah, I can feel it locked up now. It's biting.
Yes. There are...
These street treads are doing the absolute most they can right now.
And... okay, we'll go ahead and get into it. We're going to see some examples of it here in a little bit, exactly why the tires are the limiting factor of this platform.
I'm so afraid of you getting a sidewall puncture out here.
Yeah.
And no, nothing's out here to pull us out, but some random Jeep, and they're going to give us a real hard time.
And I am taking very specific lines to avoid... We don't air down when we test out here. We don't do a lot of crazy stuff. We want to see what the vehicles are capable of.
What a regular person pulls off into the off-road park. They're not an expert. What are they doing? That's how we're trying to run it.
And for the most part, the platform, the breakover is still a question mark.
It's so far down.
The approach angle works. The breakover angle works. The traction management with locking center and rear diffs work, but I can already, can you feel it sitting over there?
My stomach can feel it. The front's going one way and the back's not quite keeping up.
This, you called it Play-Doh. It is almost like glue.
Yeah, it's slippery at first, and then once you get an inch or two into it, you get this vacuum effect, and it's just, it's terrible. You've
got to have enough momentum to unstick yourself.
Yeah, don't sit still and then try to accelerate again. Once you're in it, you're in it. Let it eat.
And you're going to see here as I turn the ruts we just made simply from the body weight of this vehicle. Look at it.
Yeah, I don't think airing down would make a difference, because on this, I'm gonna flat out say it, and I'm gonna try not to rag on the tires too much, because that is the only issue with this car or vehicle, SUV, is the tires. Even if you air down, all of this highway traction is already on the dirt. You can see all the traction. Yeah, there are booties scooting back here. So I don't think airing down would help anyway.
But you can see the articulation here. It's a solid platform. We are getting no creaks in here. Like, this is solid. It is.
The panels aren't scrubbing together. There's no rubber on rubber noises. There's no suspension noise. And this is not like a brand new, I mean, it's a 24, but this is, it's
5,000 miles on it.
Hard miles at that. This is a review vehicle. They don't get babied.
You can see right here in front of me, I'm even gonna try and point on camera, right there is where we attempted when doing a spotting run of getting up this hill.
That was almost the end of the day.
The tires could not make it up this.
There's not enough lateral traction.
Yeah, I have done enough off-roading here in this exact spot to know it should. This platform should.
This platform has in the Lexus.
Yes. Yeah, I brought the Overtrail out here, no problem, with proper tires.
Yeah, and it was wet then too.
This is a disappointment, to say the least. So we did bail out and go this way.
And even then, you got to let it eat a little bit. Yeah. You need wheel speed to eject the mud out of these treads. It did better with the back end lock that time. So the electronics are doing what they can to overcome the shortcomings of the tire, and but I like that it's a sprinkling of electronics. There's no, we're going from this mode to that mode, suspension up and down, and like, no, it's just,
in fact, the last time
traction control does its thing.
The last time you and I were out here in a vehicle that did all that stuff with all the electronics, it bit us.
Yeah, it bit itself against the rock.
Yeah. We were in the Hummer EV, and because it's got all these presets and electronic everything, when you change the drive mode, it changes the ride height with the smallest of gray indicator lights in the dashboard to let you know, hey, we're lowering down. So naturally, I joked about the rock rails on this being non-GM rock rails.
Yeah.
It's because of that vehicle.
Yeah, we're beginning to build a list of pet peeves. One is all the fancy electronics for off-road modes only really seem to get us in more trouble.
Yep.
And then also a lack of prompts whenever we're trying to do something and it won't do it, or the vehicle is doing something that we need to be aware of and not properly notifying us. And that Hummer had it all, baby. It had all checked all the pet peeve boxes.
Like right now, I am trying to get it back into 4 high because we're going to do a little bit of high-speed stuff, and it's not wanting.
I can tell from the passenger seat.
It does not want to let go. I've put it in neutral.
At least we have instant access to all 465 foot-pounds of torque. The only problem is.
All right, there we go. Take off the rear locker. Put it in neutral.
Rear lock is only for 4 lows. What we're discovering through trial and error. But don't tell me to read the manual. We got, how much is this?
59,000 and some change.
Someone code a prompt in there, please.
But when you do, and you can get some speed in this, the suspension in this. I've been living with this on the highway, basically, in city life.
Where's most people going to do it?
And it has been fine. It is very clearly a body on frame. It reminds me a lot of the current gen 24 4Runner, not the upcoming 25 4Runner that all of y'all seem to either love or hate.
Before you even drive it, you can't cast your judgments.
It's a little floaty. There's some body roll when driving around town, but
that pays off here.
It absolutely pays off out here. We have had our teeth rattled out just driving over all this iron ore that we're doing right now. Like, there are some serious benefits to a floatier.
I say you send it through here, and
suspension.
if we get stuck, we get stuck.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Ah,
there you go. Little vehicle speed.
Yeah. And we've got
a front plowing.
We've got another one coming up here over a little bunny hop, and yep, through it. Yes.
A street trim, a street trim. It's not an over trail or anything. Shouldn't be this smooth.
Yes, it really is very nice climbing out air and doing this and articulating over some of that washout stuff we started out on. This is impressive for a street trim. This is not really supposed to be out here.
No, you can tell the whole platform was designed for this and adjacent to this, off-road-ish, without sacrificing all on-road manners. I can't see a thing. And I'm not even driving. That's terrible.
It is some sloppy stuff out here, and they slip, they slide, then they grab, then they slip, they slide, and they grab. The tires are 100% the limiting factor, but the suspension's good. The powertrain, we haven't even talked about the powertrain. So hybrid power, instantaneous torque from the electric motor that supplements the lag in the turbocharged 4-cylinder. It works. The engine, on paper, angers all of you. It's 4-cylinder, it's a hybrid, it's turbocharged.
Toyota's been in the 4-cylinder game and off-road for a long time. It's fine.
The shortcomings of this are not the powertrain.
People have been off-road naturally aspirated 4-cylinders for a long time, especially from the foreign market.
Yes.
It's completely acceptable.
I've got no problems with the powertrain. The transmission's good. It's not hunting for gears. It's not starving me for power when I need it most.
Yep, it's right there.
It's good. I have no notes on suspension. I have no notes on transmission, powertrain. It works. It works well. That being said, if you do opt up to Land Cruiser Squared, you get a disconnectable sway bar, you get multi-terrain select, you get a few more goodies.
Do you think you need that?
With these tires, what we're actually able to do... I don't
think anyone would help it.
Like, it only would incentivize you to do dumber stuff and get yourself in more of a bind.
If you're talking about going out and paying for something that's expensive, because all new cars are, and you're going to be in a toy, and you want the Land Cruiser or the Lexus Twin, I would get this and do a tire swap. That's it.
It is truly impressive to me what this platform is showing us today in its capability, in its durability, and just everything Toyota's built into this one. Again, in the things that matter, I've got no notes. The easiest of upgrades are the only upgrade you really need to do to this.
And it's something you're gonna have to do anyway. It's a very common, very relatively low mile wear item. It's probably the first thing that's gonna go out and have to be replaced. And stop going to these manufacturers and putting OE tires back on it. Unless you're driving like a GT3 RS or something like that. OE tires are almost always worse than, aftermarket, which is they're not aftermarket, non-OE. I mean, you even look at original equipment KO3s on the Ford Ranger Raptor, and then the off-the-shelf from anywhere else, and it's a different tread pattern. It's just the way it is, that OE tires are meant to be comfortable on the initial drive, nice and quiet. Fuel efficient. God, fuel efficiency is the king of the automotive market right now, unfortunately. I mean, it's great until you need a specialty tire. Just replace it with like an AT3W or a KO2, KO3, something like that. Not even a mud grabber, not even like a crazy mud off-road, just a good all-terrain tire. The Kumo makes a great all-terrain tire. Pretty much everyone does. Get an all-terrain tire that doesn't suck on the highway, and this thing is gonna just absolutely kill it out here.
Other notes for both daily livability and off-roadability. The visibility. A lot of illities here. Visibility is excellent. Big boxy shape tends to do very well for seeing out of. Big boxy windows, easy clear sight lines. I can tell where the corners are. on all four corners of this vehicle. The back window is huge. The side windows are huge. I can actually see out of this when parking at the mall or placing my tire where I need to overcome the lack of tire traction in this 1958 edition. I really am impressed with this platform. The bones are solid. It is 99% of the way there. It is purely the tires that have been the letdown today.
Which, as much as we're griping about it, that's probably the easiest thing.
Yeah.
That's almost like you buy a car and you don't even need tires, but you want that cool looking sidewall, baby.
Yeah.
You go out and buy some cool sidewall all-terrains. Well, you're probably going to do it anyway, so why not get it on a trim that actually needs it?
And with 5,000 miles on this vehicle already, I can guarantee you, given how these press vehicles live, these are not the original tires. These are probably at least the second set of tires.
They're going to be OE replacements, but yeah. These tires, this vehicle has seen some things. Oh my God, I don't know if we can make it through that. This is the main trail.
Yeah.
This place is outrageous.
It has rained, it has washed out. I cannot stress to you what this place has been like here in East Texas at Christmas time. Oh my goodness. And it's just soldiering on. Yeah. It's powering through. We don't know what's underneath there.
Yeah. When in doubt, throttle out. Just don't stop.
Yeah.
Just don't stop.
This stuff is a little bit more rocky out here, so there is more.
There's mud, but everything has a bed of rock underneath of it. There's rocks poking out everywhere. You can't walk with your regular foot without touching a rock, let alone an entire tire. And this thing, man, the more we're out here, the more you see the family relation to that $78,000, $79,000 Lexus Overtrail Plus we had.
Yeah.
It's very similar on suspension, on the feel of it. I know there's a different power plant, but we're not out here Baja racing. It's not about straight line speed. And if everyone's honest with themselves, that rings true with daily drivability. This is not a drag racer. It's never going to be a drag racer. It's more than adequate. And the suspension package is a traditional suspension. It's dialed in. I don't think you need the sway bar disconnect. And if you want to go old school, unbolt it.
Yeah.
Take it out. I mean, don't, do any evasive action and you might roll the thing over. But I mean, that's always an option that people have done forever.
So the quick synopsis, if you've made it this far in the video, solid platform. The engine, transmission are not the weak points.
Nope.
It is purely the tires on this trim.
Yep.
And yes, you can get more and pay more from the factory, but this serves as a solid basis for a build. If you want a good modern vehicle with all the comforts and amenities, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, room for the entire family, comfortable suspension on the road, but you want to build it out to have some fun out here and do some stuff that we weren't quite capable of doing today, start here. Forget the Land Cruiser, get the 1958, have some fun, enjoy it while you're out here. If you want to come out to Barnwell, information down in the video description below. If you want to see our video where Eric's behind the wheel having some more fun in this, we talk a little more technical on tires, go check out One Off Garage. I'll link that as well. But until next time, gearheads, bye.